Welcome into an interesting version of Second Down. Christian Gokel, glad to have you alongside on this Tuesday afternoon. We are just about 50 minutes away from getting you to Braves pregame coverage. But listen, we know the Braves are playing some day games the next couple of days, but we also know you need your 3-and-out fix. So joining Cam and myself, the legendary Florida Gator All-American Ben Troop, and the much more athletic host of 3-and-Out, Kevin Thomas, joining us on Second Down today. Got a lot to get to today. Obviously, the Braves back in action, trying to get that first win of the season against the Nationals coming up. Got a lot to get to in the NFL as well. Some news about Major League Baseball where they've decided to move the All-Star game. So just a lot to dive into. But guys, I guess start with the Atlanta Braves today. I know Ben has not been the best start so far for the Braves, taking on the Nationals and going out there trying to get your first win. Who do you got to go up against? Max Scherzer. I mean, might be a little tough for the Braves, but we talked about it yesterday on 3-and-Out. They got to regress towards the mean, right? Acuna, Ozuna, Albies, Freeman, all those guys aren't going over in this series too.
I hope not. And the thing about it is, Christian, just get back to what you do. Like, I think the thing about the Braves is I don't look at them as any other franchise because you got some very distinct personalities, right? If Acuna and Marcel ain't like vibing before the game, like I don't want them to be responsible professional baseball play. No, that's not what they do. I want them to be out there. I want Ronald Acuna Jr. to be out there dancing and stuff before the game. I want Marcel to get, because if not, Christian, they're gonna become a, dare I say, an upstanding franchise of a bunch of professionals. That's a bunch of Freddie Freemans. We got a Freddie Free. He's gonna be that consummate professional. Acuna already cut off the dreads, man. Like, do we need to grow his hair back out? Is he Samson?
No,
Do we have but I will say this. Nobody's gonna feel sorry for a franchise like the Braves that literally almost has everything. Like young superstars, young superstar pitchers. Ronald Acuna Jr., they saying he could be the best player in baseball in a year or two. Freddie Freeman's coming off an MVP. Snit didn't even think he would be coaching baseball, let alone getting contract extensions. Alex Anthopoulos' whole staff before he got there went to jail. No one's going to feel bad for the Braves, Kevin. I just think that they need to get back to what they're doing and put pressure on the opposing pitcher and try to make this thing a game because I can't deal with 0-4. I know it's still a long season, but that BJ Bennett is creeping up out of me at this point.
I'll just calm down. It'll be fine. We got what, 159 more games to go this season. But we'll dive back into the Braves here coming up a little bit. But last night, obviously, guys, the men's national championship, Baylor, Gonzaga. Baylor just absolutely decimating Gonzaga from start to finish. Kevin and I were joking before the show. He said, I had to turn off a show before the start of that game, and then that game was over as soon as it started. Yeah. I mean, Cam, we have been the kiss of death for teams and we picked them. I mean, both of the women's Final Four teams that we picked got knocked out in the Final Four, and then we were both on Gonzaga yesterday, and Gonzaga got absolutely drugged by Baylor.
Yeah, it was complete dominance. I've never seen a team play defense like that. They were smaller than Gonzaga, just way more athletic, looked like they worked out with the football team. And Davion Mitchell, dude, he was sliding his feet all last night. No fouls, giving you the bump, playing good defense. They was hitting threes. Gonzaga, it was a complete mismatch. If they played again, they'd probably beat Gonzaga again and again in the 7-game series, probably sweep them. But it was a mismatch last night.
I mean, Kevin, it was just domination from start to finish.
Yeah, it wasn't close. I don't know if it'd be 0-4. I think there were a couple other factors that played into it. But, I mean, it was 7-0, and you're sitting there saying, all right, Gonzaga needs to make a basket or something just to slow this down right out of the gate. And then it was 11-1, and you're saying this Gonzaga team looks dead in the water. I mean, again, horrible ball handling. Some of that was to do with Baylor's defense, not a lot of great shots early. And once they got down double digits, it got to 9 in the second half once, and that was it. You could just tell the whole life got sucked out of that game very quickly, and it was over, and Baylor was in your face. And like Cam said, Davion Mitchell out of Liberty County, man, what a story arc for him. Started at Auburn as a backup, now was obviously an instrumental piece in Baylor's run to winning a national championship. And some people saying, look, maybe he's a potential lottery pick in the NBA draft. What a story run for them. But look, I hate to say this a lot of times in sports. I think Baylor wanted it more, and Baylor just had that little extra drive to go get it. I think Saturday night probably took a lot out of Gonzaga. That was a
Yeah.
that was a game that they had not played all season long. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. UCLA goes to overtime, back and forth, back and forth. You hit a game winner. That's an emotional win in the Final Four. Then to turn around and play a team that just blew out Houston. They didn't have to stress getting into the championship game. They blew out everybody along the way and came out from the jump and just punched Gonzaga in the face, and it was over, man. And I give Baylor a lot of credit, Scott Drew, for that. They got after it on defense. They wanted the first 10 minutes of that game, they got every rebound and every loose ball that was out there, and that's just heart, desire, and drive, man. And they wanted it big time.
Yeah, I think Baylor averaged 15.8 as a margin of victory throughout the tournament. So just from start to finish, I think they're the best team in the country looking back on it now. But Ben, you watch some football games and you just look at the line of scrimmage, you can tell who's going to win that game just in the first quarter, right? Just the way they're moving other people off the ball. That's kind of felt what it felt like watching Baylor last night. Just they were so much more aggressive. They were so much faster. They were quicker to the ball, and their shots were falling while Gonzaga's were all contested and nothing was falling for them.
Baylor knew that number one, everybody wasn't really watching them until they got to the Final Four. Like they watching it's because it's the storylines. Baylor ain't a storyline. Baylor like, all right, they wanted the top 64 teams. But Baylor said for one game, dude, we going to play deep. Like, no, not kind of play, not we gonna force, because we all know this. It's one thing to make a shot. When I'm forcing you to make quality shots, that's hard to do for 48 minutes. Like we're gonna yep. And I think what happens is too, let's face it, if you Baylor, I'm not afraid of Gonzaga. Oh, what Gonzaga? Oh, in 2021, Gonzaga's supposed to be the ending of this book, right? No, we're gonna give you another ending. And like I said, man, lock down. Even if Baylor wasn't even, focused on the offensive side, they still shutting down Gonzaga. Like even if we ain't hitting shots, they ain't hitting them either. So we just showed you guys that we can hit shots, right? Because everybody thought Gonzaga's gonna shoot us out the gym. So we beat them at what they do, and they didn't respect what we did. So there we are, horsing up the track. Man, look, I mean, Kevin, something we were talking about. Listen, Gonzaga head coach, maybe he's showing you this is the best I can do, man. Finally made it to the Natty, and when you do, I lose to who? Not UCLA, not Kentucky, not Kansas, not the Blue Bloods, Baylor. So I mean, it might be time for him to move on now because getting back on this horse, trying to get back to the big show, Christian and Kevin and Cam, I don't know if it's worth it because that was a beatdown and the whole world saw it.
The one thing I was getting kind of sick of last night was everybody kept going back to Scott Drew's press conference. They're like, he said he's going to win a national championship. He called his shot, right?
Every coach says that,
but
right?
I was going to say, number one, every coach says that, but it's not like he did it in like 2019 and he's flipped his thing around in a couple of years, right? This has been since 2003 when he got there. So, I mean, 18, 19 years since he said this. He's like, hey, we're going to build this program. We're going to get back to where it needs to be. We're going to win a national championship. Is it really calling your shot if it takes 19 years?
Yeah. No, not really. I mean, it's like I guess you go back and it's like you dig up old tweets of people from way back when, and it proves your point. Look, every coach says, "Hey, I want to build this thing into a championship."
We're going to be fast. We're going to be aggressive.
I mean, I'm sure if Gonzaga would have won, you could have gone back to when Mark Few took over at Gonzaga and said, "Hey, I'm going to take this team to a championship." Well,
no one ever shows up and it's like, "Hey, look, we're going to try to."
Yeah.
I actually disagree with you, but I think Gonzaga has like the second or third, maybe the second longest streak of making it to the NCAA tournament. So I think they're going to have a chance to be back there again. I just think it is. If there was a year that it was going to happen, I think this was a year for them to do it because Kansas, even though they made it, was not a typical Kansas team. Duke, Kentucky were not very good. UCLA, they end up having to beat. That's a traditional kind of power basketball team, and they beat them in the Final Four. But I think you saw a lot of teams that were typically not themselves that they normally probably would have had to run through to get to the Final Four. And there's a reason Gonzaga's only made one. It's not because they don't have great players. Just again, I think they go out in the non-conference and schedule as tough as they can, and they'll get the Dukes and all that in the pre.
They were supposed to play Baylor this year,
but again, the fact is they get the conference play and they pretty much run roughshod over everybody, but maybe St. Mary's. So I think they'll be back. I don't know if they'll be back to a championship. It's hard to get there, but I think they'll definitely be a team. I saw the odds already. Of course, that's what we do now. Like the game's over, 5 seconds after the game's over, you got to put out the odds for next year. Gonzaga, best odds to be the national championship or national champions in 2022. So I think they'll have a chance. Mark Few, I think, is going to stick at Gonzaga. He's had chances to go elsewhere. I think he's committed and
All
likes
right.
what he's doing there in Spokane. Sorry.
I was gonna say
I was kind of hogging all the
Kevin
time
loves
there. I'm
Kevin
sorry.
loves Gonzaga apparently. No,
I know,
I-
but Baylor went out.
Greg Talbot is somewhere going.
no, look, Kevin, closet Gonzaga fan, but no. Two more questions. Number one, what is the origins of running roughshod? Number one, so we could look, Cam, if we could look that up and figure out the origins of that. Kevin just dropped that one. But number two, it was a great broadcast crew. I mean, number one, you have Jim Nance. I love that commercial last night where it was like him, Charles Barkley, and Samuel L. Jackson back when they were kids. And number one, Charles Barkley was still bald, but two, like Jim Nance comes up as young. He's like, "Hello, friends," like when he meets him for the first time. But he had him, Grant Hill, and Bill Rafferty on the calls with Tracy Wolfson. I just want to get all y'all's opinions, see if you can decipher this for me, because Bill Rafferty got excited and he dropped this one on us. Get the lingerie on the deck, call the janitor. Like,
Yeah.
that. Can we decipher that?
Yeah, somebody got juked out of their drawers, man. You got to have the janitor come pick it up. That's what happens.
Is that where you're going with it?
No. There's only one guy on this show who came up, wanted to do what he is doing right now. His name is Kevin Thomas. When you can decipher that, like, that's what we do. Listen, we're going to coastal Georgia. Kevin, what did he just mean? Somebody just got juked out of their underwear, man. Got to pick, okay, because there is nobody but Kevin who would have known that. I ain't even going to say what I was going to say. I'm happy that Kevin already said it.
I heard Vern Lundquist do it back in the day. I think it was like Noshawn Moreno against Auburn, and he said there was lingerie on the field. Like every Georgia fan freaked out because they thought it was a holding call, but no, he was saying that somebody just got juked out of their jock strap.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
So get the lingerie on the deck, call the janitor.
Hey, look, at the end of the day, I mean, if I'm on that live broadcast, I'm just looking at it like this. You're going to have to explain that, because see, if I do it, this going to be my last broadcast. So I don't want to say the wrong thing, man. I got bills to pay.
No.
I'm going to write down some of these, Kevin, and just find a way for you to drop them in.
Hold on. I'm going to ask Kevin this real quick. Though, Christian. You do live broadcasts, you and Christian. Do you have something built in to say, if something happens, I'm going to cue it? Like, I want to say something, but something has to happen for me to say it. I can't just pull it out.
No, not usually, because I think like the one time that I like tried to premeditate something to say, I screwed it up. Like I actually had, it's like, all right, if this happens, like I think it was like a state championship game I was doing for basketball back in the day, high school basketball game. And I'm like, okay, if the home team wins the state championship, or it looks like, hey, at the 10 seconds they're gonna win, I'm gonna say this, and then in the moment,
like bringing the ship back to the wick.
I totally screwed it up, and I'm like, never again. Just go with it organically. If it comes to you, do it.
Do you think the best, like, actually
pre-scripted is not good? No.
I was gonna say, do you think the best though, like Jim Nance and like the Vern Lundquist back in the day, like they had these sayings written down?
No, I think some of it's just kind of it comes naturally, man. I was like I can't believe what I just saw when Kirk Gibson hit the home run.
The slipper still fits.
Yeah, all that stuff I think just kind of comes out.
You don't think he wrote that down?
No.
The slipper still fits.
I actually heard somebody say,
is it like Gus Johnson?
Back when Hank Aaron was going for the home run record to beat Babe Ruth, somebody was like, I forget, it was Vin Scully, I guess. He was like,
he was doing the national broadcast.
He did a national broadcast. Sure. He was like, I actually had somebody said, did you write something down what to say? And he was like, I kind of jotted down some notes, and then in the moment I forgot all about it and just said what was happening. So it's like you can try to pre-script all that stuff out.
It's
like,
all natural.
Yeah.
Kevin's like Booby Miles. He doesn't.
Well,
have to work out.
Certain people have catchphrases, but they don't. I don't think Billy Raftery's sitting at the house like, what can I say that can kind of become my thing? The onions.
Maybe he
like,
should
no,
have.
I think that just happens.
He said the other one that I caught from him last night was when they ran when Baylor came out hot. He's like, they came out like their house was on fire. I was like, what? I thought it was like came out like your hair's on fire.
Well, I mean, how would you come out if your house is on fire? You'd be out there quick.
On fire, come out there quick. We got more to come here on Second Down. Got some NFL news to dive into from yesterday. Ben Troop, Cam Ursery, Kevin Thomas, kind enough to hang out with us as we get you ready for Braves baseball coming up. First pitch set for 4:05. We'll go straight into Braves pregame coverage coming up a little bit before 3 o'clock. We'll be right back here on Second Down after this. Oh, it must have landed on heads for Sam Darnold there because he is headed to Carolina, Kevin. You see what I did there? You see what I did there? I was going to play a little James Taylor earlier. Like in my mind, I'm going to Carolina, but old Barton Hahn stole the idea from me before I could get it on here. So I had to go with a little Joe D. Messina there. I don't know if there's a song called Falcons Drafted a Quarterback. I don't know if there will be a song called Falcons Drafted a Quarterback because apparently the Falcons are in discussions with multiple teams about the 4th overall pick. But I did want to discuss with you guys the Sam Darnold trade from yesterday. He is coming to the NFC South now. Going to pair him with Matt Rule and Joe Brady, Christian McCaffrey, and reuniting him with Robbie Anderson, his former receiver from the New York Jets. But Cam, they get a 2021 6th-round pick, a 2022 2nd-round pick, and a 2022 4th-round pick due the Jets. And Carolina gets some insurance at quarterback. Do you think that is it for them in terms of going after the quarterback position, or if the right guy falls to them at 8, you think they're still going after somebody?
First, it's just funny how the Jets draft a guy top 3, and then you get back a 2nd-round pick and a 6th-round pick for a guy you drafted top 3. But I think Carolina's done drafting a quarterback. I think they got their quarterback. Darnold's only 23. And then also that lets you know right there, whatever those 4 wide receivers, Waddle, Smith, Chase, or Pitts fall to, that's who Carolina is going to draft, pair up with Darnold. I'm a little nervous future-wise, not right now, but for the future, I'm a little nervous being a Falcons fan, but I think they're going to draft a wide receiver or possibly Pitts at 8 if he's available.
Ben, I'm trying to understand how what they're fixing to do to Zach Wilson is any different than what they did to Sam Darnold. It basically, to me, seems like they're just swapping the player and saying he was the problem when looking at it from the outside, Sam Darnold wasn't the problem. It was that entire organization.
The Jets are bad, and the whole thing about it is this. Outside of every I can't remember the last quarterback that came into the league that was on a bad team that was good from the start. Like I can't remember the last time. Like people think, what is the worst thing for a quarterback that goes in the top 5? Him starting right away, because if the team was bad without him, they're going to be bad with him. He is just a new face, and they expect him to just come in. People are going to say, what about Mark Sanchez? Well, what about it? Mark Sanchez was not allowed to throw the ball down the field. He had a running game and a defense. They went to the AFC Championship game twice, and Rex Ryan a year later was like out of town, moved on to Buffalo. Joe Brady is going to take Sam Darnold and do for him what he did for Joe Burrow. Hold on. Joe Burrow is older than Sam Darnold, and Joe Burrow just got in the league. So all I'm saying is, too, people say new environments. Does it help? Look, I lived in New Jersey, which is where the Jets are, by the way. They ain't even in New York. They're in New Jersey.
Damn.
And all I'm saying is, nobody wants to go to a big city team and stink. Nobody wants to do that. Sam Darnold was doomed. I mean, so at the end of the day, you start talking about when's the last time they had a great quarterback with the Jets? Chad Pennington, Michael Vick. Nobody's gonna win there. So I just think that Sam Darnold got to give. Joe Brady thinks that he can help Sam Darnold. Yeah. I don't know what it means for Teddy Bridgewater. I think
Brett Favre, maybe.
Huh?
Brett Favre, maybe the last legit Jets quarterback. Who knows?
Yeah. And they told Brett Favre, hey, Brett, don't throw the ball, cross your body. Why? Because it's gonna get picked. Anyway, I'm just saying I like the move for Sam Darnold because number one, I think Sam Darnold is talented. And I ain't even think about Robbie. I forgot about he had him. You get you getting the band back together. You give him a running back, and C-Mac. You giving him a young defense in an NFC South.
Too.
Yeah, and I just think I do agree with Cam. One of these young receivers gonna go to him. Dare I say, Carolina could be competing here really, really soon. And fortunately for a guy like Zach Wilson, while he's going to get a lot of billboard signs, a lot of commercials, he's going to get the hell beat out of him. It is going to be rough from the opening day.
I mean, Kevin, like I said, I don't see how it's any different what they're doing with the Jets. You have a guy who showed some talent, never really won anything significant in college, but he has all the measurables, and you're bringing him in, top 2 pick right now, but you're bringing him in, and literally the roster is exactly the same.
Yeah. I mean, I agree 100% with what Ben said. Hey, Zach Wilson's probably going, oh my, like you're going number 2, and that's great. You're going to get some good money, but you're just going to say, but Sam Darnold was not good because one, probably coaching a little bit too, but you just didn't have a lot of great players around you. No. And so now Zach Wilson's going to come in, which is fine. We got our quarterback, but he's not going to have any really difference makers around him. So where's he going? He's going to go the way of Sam Darnold unless you really figure out a way to cash in draft picks. I don't know what the Jets.
But even then, you're banking on an entire rookie class to help your rookie quarterback. Like, how much of this is just Robert Saleh?
But you don't win with a rookie class.
Yeah, how much of this is just hubris, though? It's like Adam Gase couldn't get it done with the Jets, but I can take this team and I can flip them around and give me my quarterback.
I mean, I guess take your quarterback, but you better treat him better than some other quarterbacks like that. Like both? David Carr is going to get beat. Like I said, he's going to get so beat up he may not make it 3-4 years in the league because you're going to get sacked a bunch. You're going to get hit a lot. I mean, that. I think the Jets will be right back in unless they have a good draft and can lure free agents to come there. I mean, you're putting Zach Wilson in a position to fail. I mean, you are.
That better be a hell of a 6th-round pick. I mean, that guy better step up day one.
It's kind of like the Jags when they who was it? Was it Blaine Gabbert? They drafted Blaine Gabbert, had no talent on the team at all. And they said, hey, we're going to let Blaine sit and learn. Game 3, he was out there. And what happened? He was awful. He was put in a position to fail. Again, BJ said my favorite thing. He was throwing to Chaston West and that was his go-to. I mean, like, how are you going to succeed doing that?
All I'm saying is this. I mean, look. You look the last 4 MVPs, regular season MVPs, right? Every last one of them sat. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he sat for almost 4 years. Patrick Mahomes, he sat for a year. Lamar Jackson didn't start. He came in like the 8th game of the season. People think, don't let them look. How many? Okay, just look at it like this. How many players come into high school? I mean, come out of high school, come straight into college and just straight ball. They just got it down packed. Nothing around them. They doing it. It's very, very hard to do it. So, yes, I do agree with Kevin. Zach Wilson, man, you get to be the face. You and Saquon. Saquon for the New York Giants in New Jersey, and you for the New York Jets in New Jersey. But outside of that, if there is no infrastructure, I don't care what you got. I don't care who you are. I don't care because 2 things happen with the Jets. If you play DB for Florida, you're going to the Jets because that's all we get. That's all they got up there. And if you a defensive lineman that is going to suck, you are going to the Jets for a year, and then you're going to get traded to the Giants. I'm just saying, it's certain teams draft that. Listen, their owner is stubborn, and when you think the way that you draft is good, and you don't get nobody to help you do it, you are going to be the Dallas Cowboys. You're going to have a lot to talk about, but nothing to celebrate. It ain't going to be nothing at the end of the year.
Yeah, Cam, I just don't understand why you don't keep Sam Darnold. If you're going to draft Zach Wilson, fine, but you already have Sam Darnold on the roster. I mean, why not just let him stay there, let them compete for the job? If Sam Darnold beats him out, you just give Zach Wilson time to get ready for that role and then trade Sam Darnold because I'm pretty sure you can get a 6th-round pick at any time during the year. Like the Falcons would probably have given up a 6th-round pick to have Sam Darnold as a backup, right? I mean, I just don't understand the rush to go ahead and get him out of there.
Because that's the smart thing, and Jets are not a smart organization. Sure. It's just that's the smart thing to do, Christian. That's what I was thinking they were going to do. Draft Zach Wilson, have them compete. Maybe Zach sit behind him for a year, then you move on from Sam because you got to pay him, I think, 18, 19 mil to extend him next year for that 5th-year option. But at the same time, they let him go. Okay, cool. But like you guys said, what have you put in place for him to be successful? They got Corey Davis from the Titans, I think, and that's it. That's literally it. Draft picks is not going to get it done, and I feel really bad for Zach Wilson. Really, really bad.
I don't feel bad for Sam Darnold though, because he's heading out south.
Yeah.
He's got Christian McCaffrey to turn around and hand the rock to. Got Matt Rule, Joe Brady. He's a magician. So hey, Sam Darnold probably the happiest guy in the NFL right now. Headed down to the NFC South, which is really in outside of Tampa Bay. Kind of up in the air right now. So maybe Carolina, like Ben said, can start competing. We got more to come here. We'll come back, get you ready for Braves at the Nationals. Braves looking for that first win of the year. Also the debut of Drew Smyly. We'll get you caught up on what to expect from the lefty when we see him out there today. Christian Gokel alongside Ben Troop, Cam Ursery, and Kevin Thomas. We'll be right back after this.
Here.
Maybe Kevin, time to change the name of that line or that line to I ain't seen the Braves win.
We're about to. How about
game
that?
all year. I ain't seen Ozzy Albies, Freddie Freeman, Dansby Swanson get a hit all year. Like that's going to be the new line in that there Tim McGraw song. Christian Gokel alongside Cam Urshery, the aforementioned Kevin Thomas,
Yes.
and the venerable Ben Troop here on Second Down. Just about 10 minutes away from getting you to Braves coverage coming up as Drew Smiley will take the mound as the Braves face the Nationals as they get their season underway. Before we dive into that, Cody Queen, who's not at work today, currently on vacation, deciding to hop in the chat and hit us with a look at these chumps, is what he said. And I would just care to direct everybody's gaze to the bottom left-hand portion of the video screen where Cody Queen in his profile picture is sitting seductively on his couch in a hoodie and shorts. So, I mean, Ben, it's that old Bible verse, the log in your eye.
I mean, Cody got some. No, number one. Okay, so let's just go through what you said too, Christian. Cody is not here. He's on, vacay, looking at us.
That's right.
On vacay, calling up chumps right. with the worst Tinder profile pic you ever seen in your life. Get out of here. I hope enjoy yourself though, Cody. But you know what? Because I know Cody. This is the one that made it. I don't even want to see the ones that didn't make it.
There's a whole photo shoot going on there. But I mean, Cam, you're the young one on this one? Is that the definition of thirst trapping right there?
Wow, yeah, I guess you could say that. It's funny, man. Hey, Ben took the words right out of my mouth. Enjoy your vacation, Cody. He did. He really did.
Look at these chumps, Christian, I'm happy that Christian called it in the chat though. But Cody, listen, number one, man, listen. I don't know if Cody is like if that's a profile pic or if that's what he sent to his family.
If that's the Facebook pic, I want to see the Tinder pics.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, why is he showing? What is that? What is that? His knee and a little bit of his left thigh.
Yeah, a little bit of leg in there.
Look. Cody, to know him is to love him, and that is Cody James Queen, the only man that gives you all three of his government issue names.
That's right.
Every time you meet him. Gotta love it.
Again, we are just a few minutes away from coverage starting for the Braves at the Nationals. And Kevin, got to win one at some point, right? I mean, they're not going to go 0-62. At least we hope not.
0-162. No.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just we got to get a win. Is Drew Smiley the guy to get it done today? Because I think I don't know if we're going to see a one run performance from him. I think the offense is probably going to have to help him out today.
Yeah, on paper, no, because he's going up against Max Scherzer, and I'm sorry if you were to put the scales, Drew Smiley, Max Scherzer. I think we know which way that tilts. But a lot of times it's funny in baseball. We used to say this about the Braves of the mid '90s. Is baseball players kind of have a funny way of, hey, this guy may not be our best pitcher. We need to get him some run support. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Braves finally, get something going here, because back in the 90s, it was the Braves had some awful teams in terms of just overall offensive production. And a lot of times people said it like permeated the clubhouse and, hey, we have Maddox, Smoltz, and Glavine. We only need to get them like 2 runs and we're fine. We get 2 runs, we're going to win the game. 3 runs. I don't know if that's 100% there with the way they think about Fried and Soroka yet, but those guys pitch very, very well. And you feel like, hey, we don't need to go 8-9 runs deep to get a win today. I think today might be one of those days where offensively guys look at each other in the face and say, look, 1 run ain't going to cut it. 2 runs ain't going to cut it. And you're going to have to figure out a way, probably more importantly, to get Scherzer out of the game than slap him around the yard. Yeah, you're going to have to just, again, drive the pitch count up or something, get him out of the game and move on to somebody else.
That's exactly where I was going to go, Cam, because, I mean, you look at some of the batting averages career against Max Scherzer. Ronald Acuna's got 294. He's got a couple of RBIs. Ozzy Albies has a homer and a few RBIs. Freddie Freeman's got a couple of home runs against Scherzer. Marcell Ozuna's had a really good career against Scherzer as well. I know the Braves like to be aggressive against that first pitch, but maybe today, Cam, a day where you sit back and make him throw strikes and do what teams do to the Braves, make him get that pitch count up. So hopefully you can get him out of there by the 5th, 6th inning and get into that bullpen.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking at, Christian. The career batting averages, trying to get a little bit better with baseball. I'm getting there. But yes, they got to get on the board today. They got to win. They got to get a win today. 0-4 just doesn't sound right in my books whatsoever. 0-4 just sounds disgusting. Got to get a win today. But with that being said, it's It's just a sprint or a little jog to the marathon, man. That's all it is. It's just the fourth game at 162. Nothing to rush, nothing to press about. But I think the Braves will get a win today. That's my bold prediction.
Don't do that, Cam. We've been really bad at picks the last days. So Cam,
but we're gonna get good today. We're gonna get good today.
With the kiss of death right there. But Ben, tomorrow you have a doubleheader, 2 7-inning games. Probably happy that you're catching Max Scherzer today. If you catch him in one of those 7-inning games, he might just go the whole way, and you might be looking at a hard L.
Yeah, you might. And the thing is, too, I mean, let's not. The thing about this Braves team, though, I mean, it's just getting back to what they do. Like, what makes this Braves team exciting is you got exciting players. You got guys that can go out there. You got the best leadoff hitter.
It feels like the first time Ronald Acuna, Marcell Ozuna, or Ozzie Albies hits a home run, the floodgates are just going to open.
Yeah, and Kevin can speak to this better than me. I mean, I look at it as what makes any player good is being comfortable, no matter what, no matter the situation. They don't look comfortable. I mean, Ronald Acuna just chasing pitches. It seems like guys are out of their rhythm. When Freddie Free is not Freddie Free, it's a problem because I'm just looking forward to those guys getting back to doing what they do, being comfortable on the mound. Because I do agree, Christian. I mean, we were talking about it yesterday on 3 and Out. Is it going to be Dansby Mansby? Is it going to be Austin Riley? Is it going to be Marcell? I don't care who it is. Somebody get a home run, not named Pablo Sandoval, and I think the Braves got a chance to go out there and the floodgates can open.
Hey, Kevin, again, Drew Smyly going out there. First time we're going to see him in a Braves uniform. What pitch-wise should we expect to see from Drew Smyly? I know you're the expert. You can give us the scouting report.
The scouting report is make it through 5, big fella, and don't blow the game wide open. I think 0-4 is bad, but I mean 0-4 is a distinct possibility today, unless the Braves open up a can of offense that we haven't seen yet. I mean, it's a possibility. I just don't know if Scherzer's the guy that you say, hey, this is going to snap us out of a funk. Maybe it's a bullpen thing where you get to the bullpen and take advantage. But Drew Smyly, it's get us to the 6th inning, man. You're the 4th, kind of de facto 5th starter once Mike Soroka comes back. Your job is to simply not go up there and make it 9-0 before we have a chance to win the game. Yours to hold serve and get us back around. And I think that's his job today, is to try to hang in there as best you can with Max Scherzer for as long as you can, and hope the team gets you a run or two to help you out.
And you're the coaching legend. What's the
I'm
approach?
the coaching legend.
You're the coaching legend. What's the approach at the plate against Max Scherzer? Again, we our goal, like Cam and I saying right there, get the pitch count up. Maybe don't try to swing at the first pitch every time. Because if you give Max Scherzer a couple of 4-pitch innings, he's going all the way.
Yeah, no, that's the goal. So not go up there and swing at everything. Try to work the pitch count up. Now, if he's hammering the strike zone and it's 0-2 every time, that's the Mike Tyson plan. It's a good plan till you get hit in the face with strikes. Sure. But yeah, try to get the pitch count up and get him out. Because remember, it's his first start of the year. So I doubt the Nationals are going to want him out there for 100 pitches necessarily in game number 1, especially with basically a week layoff since spring training.
Absolutely. We'll have all the coverage coming up for you here in about 5 minutes as the Braves pregame coverage will take over. And then we'll have Joe Simpson and Ben Ingram on the call coming up. 4:05 first pitch for the Atlanta Braves as they go for that first win against the Washington Nationals, a team who we have not seen yet this year due to COVID restrictions inside of their clubhouse, but they have been cleared by Major League Baseball. So we got a game today coming up at 4:05, and then we got a doubleheader starting at 12:05 for you tomorrow. For Kevin Thomas, Cam Ursery, and Ben Ingram, this is Christian Gokel. Enjoy the Braves. Oh, Ben Troop.
I'll take the Ben Ingram. I'll take the Golden Pike.